できませんので、はい、一回ちょっとやってみましょう。はい、高速すりかぶり。はい、チェック、はい、さあ、シェック、ロそういう先生もおられましたんでね、右足のつま先はいつでも自由に動くように軽くしていただくっていうのがいいと思います。はい、そしたら、今度はね、高速すりかぶり。1、2、3、4、こういう高速すりかぶりをするとね、右足に体重かける今ないんですよ。高速にすればするほどね、左足がピッとね、体重が乗って、腰が入ってなければ、1、2ってできませんので、はい、一回ちょっとやってみましょう。はい、高速すりかぶり。始め1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、20回目。1、3、4、5、6、7、8、OK です。はい、左足フライ飛ばしてください。結構効くでしょ、左足ね。わかるでしょ。で、今のすりかぶりの中の素振りもね、素振りもここでふわってならへんよ。ふわってふわってちょっとふわってなっている。ここもここからパッパッパッパッしっかり効かして、ね、全てが練習やから稽古やから、ね、一つのところに取られてしまうと全体が見失ってしまうことがありますのでね。はい、そしたら牽制を利かして今の高速すりかぶりいきます。で、振り上げ振り下ろしは柔らかく、打突する時だけ力が入るように。はい、20回いきます。高速すりかぶり始め。1、2、はい、はい、こうやってもうカッチェッチェはい、OK です。素晴らしい。開き足だけ一個にしときましょう。開き足ね。振りかぶって右左、振りかぶって左右、振りかぶって右左、振りかぶって左右という形でね、やっていきましょう。はい、開き足の素振り10本だけで結構です。はい、始め。シェッ2、はい、3、はい、シェッシェッはい、OK です。はい、構えて。はい、それまで結構です。おさめと。いいですよ。はい。だったもので結構です。はい。はい、ちょっとね、途中しんどくなったら本当にね、遠慮なしに休んでいただいて結構ですのでね、お願いしたいと思います。はい、そしたら。
Vivimos para que descubras vuelos a precios más bajos.
Unlock your stay for less with app exclusive prices. Download the free booking.com app today.
This is Killer Drops. Again, we're going.
making sure that the strike is sharp.
I don't this, Andy. I hope you're having a fantastic. Let's have a watch and then I'll describe what's going on. Okay, like this. So it's one minute strike and step back. Okay, so as you can see, the idea is we are stepping out with our right foot, okay, pushing the right foot forward with the left leg as we raise the shinai over the head, and then bringing the shinai down to med strike as we bring the left foot up, okay? This is probably the most basic type of med stability, okay? And then of course we withdraw to Shudan no Kamae. Sped up or sort of at full speed, it looks something like this, okay? It's a sort of 1-2 rhythm, 1-2. Okay, very, very easy way to get to grips with the basics of Kikentai no Ichi, all right? So, as I say, if we watch it in sort of slow motion, even this is the full speed one that I'm doing, but if we look, my arms come up as my right foot comes out, and they come down as the left foot comes in, all right? And it all comes together as a unified strike, all right? That's really important. Now, people, this is probably the most common way I think people learn basics really, and I think it's really good for that. And I think what's really beneficial of it is it's a good way to just simplify, get everything down to basics, and just make sure everything is coherent and cohesive and happening together. The strike comes down as the left foot comes in, and then the shao then all happens together, and that's a really good thing that we can focus on. All right, it's really good for that, and of course it's good for beginners for that reason as well. What's really important that we have to make sure that we do is make sure that we swing the shinai over our head, swing the shinai over our head. Make sure we keep our posture this way. We're pushing. Notice I'm pushing my body forward from my left leg as I raise the shinai up. All right, so that lets me retain my posture. If I step out with the right leg, I'll raise the posture. Okay, and then what I want to do is my left foot wants to come quickly up behind me as the shinai comes down to the men strike. Okay, so that it's nice and sharp. All right, and at the same time we say bet. Okay, nice good voice, and we end in nice good posture like this, okay? So we're not sort of leaning and stuff, okay? And my mid strike is at the correct height, okay? About some of my own height, I'm cutting into the neck, okay? It's not up above the head, it's about sort of base chin level, all right? Sort of more advanced points I'd say is keep an eye on the position of the wrist, all right? See that my wrist is sort of straight here, this straight line here. This is quite an important aspect of sort of more advanced Tenno-ichi. Okay, lots of people ask me about this sort of stability and say, why do we sort of cut on the left leg when we do Suriashi or this kind of stability, or when we do Suriashi, we cut on the right leg? And I think that's a really good question as well, but actually it's a little bit of a misnomer. In both cases, we're cutting as we push off with the left leg, and in a way, this is broken down in a very basic rhythm. You see of 1, 2, 1, 2 with the hands, 1, 2 with the feet. Okay, so as I say, it's a sort of basic version, but it's the fumikomi is more about pushing off with the left leg than it is about stamping with the right leg. And that's the key point that I think a lot of people misunderstand or misinterpret about fumikomi, and they try and stamp their right foot on the floor as they hit with the shinai. And really what you need to do is launch your body forward on your left leg and strike, and the fumikomi right from the left foot comes up almost immediately, so it all happens at roughly the same time, okay? But the action of the left leg is far more important than the right leg. And it's the same in this video as well. This video, you can really, really improve your Kendo no matter what level you're at, even with this very, very basic stability. If you focus on this part here, it's the part of pushing pushing forward from the left leg here, yeah? One more time. It is this part where we push the right foot out with the left leg. And in other words, I'm thinking about pushing my hips forward, okay? Rather than stepping out with my right leg. That's the really, really important aspect of this type of stability, okay? So that's type 1. Essentially, it's a sort of 1-2 rhythm. Hands go up as the right foot comes down, hands come down and strike as the left foot comes up, all right? I hope that makes some sort of coherent sense. Okay, so next we're going to look at type 2. Type 2 is we're going to upswing first, and then the downswing is going to happen at the same time as the feet go, all right? So the feet are going to go together in a way, all right? It's a different rhythm. It's still a 1-2 rhythm. And if we were to sort of break it down into 1 and 2, the previous one is when we lift up, 2 is when we step in and come. And this one is when we lift up, and 2 is when we step our body forward and cut, if that makes sense. Did I say that right? Type 1 is on 1 we lift up with the right, lift up with the hands and push out with the right leg, and 2 on 2 the left leg comes up and the schneid comes down. In type 2, this one that we're looking at now, on 1, if we were going to count 1 and 2, on 1 the hands would come up and the body would stay still. Then on 2 we'd step forward and we'd, okay? This is a little bit harder. It's a little bit more advanced actually. Now, I'll come back to these in a minute in terms of their application, because both of these exist in Kendo as well with the ball block, and we'll talk about that more as well. This type of stability, in my experience, is very, very popular with one place that I've seen it, and I've seen it described as, and I've seen it literally practiced as, is the Tokyo Metropolitan Police. They tend to practice stability in this method, type 2. Okay, so let's have a look at the example. So we raise first, and then step forward and cut. Does that make sense? See how it's different to the first one? Raise first, then step forward and cut at the same time. Okay. Now this is somewhat harder. Okay, somewhat harder. So at sort of higher speed or full speed, it looks more like this. Okay, so we're lifting first. You can see the difference, right? Okay. This way, okay, you see the difference. Now, the difference with this one, the benefit of this one, is that this is very good for improving your kick scarcity. That's the left foot coming up quickly, because both of your feet have to move pretty much in one beat. Okay, before it was 1, 2 with the feet, right? This time it's 1, 1, and this is much harder. It's really, really good for your Kendo, because it's a really good way to practice stability as well. Like this, okay? So you have to move your left foot up quickly so that it's still coherent, right? Still cohesive all together, all right? So it all happens at the same time. This is really, really important as well, okay? So this is step 2, really. I'd say this is like slightly harder than the previous one. So I think the next one as well is even harder, but this one I think is particularly a good example of sort of a middle ground stability, or a sort of intermediate ground stability as well. Especially if you're sort of around, I'd say sort of between Nidan and Godan. This is a really, really good stability to practice. Maybe Nidan and Yondan, so Godan you need to start focusing on more stuff as well. But can you see the difference? Okay, that's rhythm 2, right? If we just skip back to rhythm 1. Just rhythm 1. Yeah, see how it's different? That's rhythm 1. And then this is rhythm 2. See how it's different? Okay. Rhythm 1, 1, 2, this way. On rhythm 2, 1, 2. Okay, slightly different, right? Slightly different. Now, before we move on to rhythm number 3, again, I just want to talk about what's really important. Obviously, the points you have to be careful of are the same as in number 1 in terms of your posture, pushing out the left leg, stuff like that. But what I really want to say is it's really, really good. Again, I can't stress enough, it's really good for having that fast, sticky skate and a good, sharp dancing as well. what I often see people do is they'll lift the shinai up reasonably slowly and then it comes down reasonably slowly as well. Whereas in this one, it has to, you have to let the kensei and the tip of the shinai fly forward and strike. Okay, so it's a strike, don't forget. It's not just lifting up and lifting down. Okay, it has to be sharp. This way. Okay. Now, before we move on to number 3, I wanted to talk about this number 2 and 1 and 2 about their applications. All right. Where do we actually use these in Kendo? Now, they're super common. All right. This one, this is type 1, type 1, where we go